She run off and took her only chicken. When I broke jail, the house was burnt and bare. The Japs moved the plant back to Osaki. Some days life just don't seem that fair. I don't even care, I'm telling you, I just don't give a damn. I gave all my best years to that woman. All she gave me was mouths to feed. A miracle straight from the loins of Jesus. Since Charlie blew off both my test tubes. 1969 Cameron Bay, it was a massacre.
Durst. So we finally crossed paths. Let me talk to you. Maggle. Let me talk to you. What a guy. So if you guys don't know that are watching at home, watching this video, if you don't know about Duerst the Wuerst, he is among the worst. See, Duerst the Wuerst is a alt-right grifter. Duerst the Wuerst is, he's authoritarian. I'll put it at that. See, the fact is Duerst the Wuerst has been talking some shit. I'm gonna put it bluntly. He's been talking shit. And I want to address the shit talking. I commented on Duerst's post because he wants to make fun of quote-unquote centrists, or in my case, moderates. Because Duerst is an extreme. Now, let's put it at this much. I'm not a fan of extremists. I'm not a fan of the political extremes on both sides. I hate social justice warriors. See, that's why I originally subscribed to Duerst the Wuerst. I hate social justice warriors. I hate Antifa. I hate communism. But you know what else I hate worse? Just as badly? Duerst the Wuerst? I hate fascists. I hate racist people. There's a lot of people on, a lot of takes on the alt-right that I absolutely despise, madam. That's what I'm going to talk to you about today. You see, Duerst the Wuerst, I tried to tell him that, I tried to tell him this. And he's contacting me right now because he's so mad. He's so angry that, God forbid, somebody stands up to the authority. God forbid someone rises up against the racist people. God forbid somebody doesn't conform to your warped religious views. God forbid someone doesn't conform to your warped worldview. See, Duerst the Wuerst likes to propagate his worldview onto other people. He's a con man. He makes money off of telling everybody that, the other side is bad, but my side can do no wrong. which frankly, the fact of the matter is, it isn't true. Durst the Worst thinks that, he thinks that anybody who's not a Nazi is a cuckservative, as he calls it in his videos, or a libtard. Now, I find it amusing that he thinks that. I find it amusing that he looks down at other people for having a different opinion, rather than trying to have a civil discussion. See, I try to have a civil discussion, at least with the man, and you know what he does? He goes out of his way to insult me. He calls me a beta male. Fair, okay. I'm just fucking kidding. He calls me a beta male. He calls me a, what's that word? He calls me a groomer. Now, Duerst the Worst, if you knew anything about me, you'd know I got like 12 videos on my channel about calling out groomers. And yet you still call me groomer 3 other times. It's fucking hilarious. The fact of the matter is, I don't put up with pedophiles either. I called out furry gamers against Trump multiple times. I called out hypnotist Sappho. I don't put up with these people, Skip. And neither should you. But you shouldn't just call your political opponents groomers because it makes you look good. You should actually have some sort of evidence behind that. You know, use your brain for once. God damn. Tried to tell him this in a nutshell. As you saw earlier in the video, I tried to tell him that calling out both sides is actually a good thing. And that at the end of the day, most moderates just want both parties to take their best ideas and work together to unify the nation for once in our goddamn life, instead of having a constant tug of war. This isn't a controversial idea. This is nonpartisan. Of course, I know exactly why Duerst the Worst. Excuse me. Of course, I know exactly why Duerst the Worst doesn't want that. Because Duerst the Worst is a con man. He makes money off of the division of the American people. He doesn't want the betterment for America. He doesn't want America to be a better country. He just wants to point the finger at the other side so he can get views and money on motherfucking YouTube. And it's sad, it's disgusting, it's despicable. The man's legitimately a racist, by the way, and he's also legitimately anti-Jewish. Oh, God forbid, you make fun of the people with a funny hat. Such an easy target for you, right? He says stupid things like, the reason why Chicago is a shithole isn't because of the wokest left's dumb policies. No, instead he says it's because of demographics. Demographics. In his case, it means race. Guess what? Chicago always had black people for the longest in it. Even since the 70s when they were still liberal at the time. Do you know the reason why Chicago fell into a shithole? Not because of the demographics. Chicago fell into a shithole because of wokest policy. Because back then, the liberals were classical liberals and had better policy than the liberals of today. The liberals of the 70s and the liberals of today they're completely different. In fact, the liberals of the 70s now would be considered conservative. If you studied politics and you knew anything about politics and you read anything at all, you would know this. It's not a very hard concept. Skip. Also, Duerst the Worst then makes fun of me and says that I sent him another paragraph. It wasn't even that long of a paragraph. I've sent far longer paragraphs debating with social justice warriors and flat earthers and God forbid what else. I've sent far longer paragraphs. You know, the fact is I don't think that Duerst the Worst, I don't think that he doesn't want to read my paragraph. I think it's that he's too stupid to read. I don't think he knows how to read. In fact, I think he dropped out of high school. Believe that. Now, Duerst the Worst, I know you're going to send your authoritarian right trolls. You're going to send a bunch of these marks, these people that mark out over your dirt sheet content. Well, let me tell you something. I don't care what you find on my channel. I don't care if you make fun of me for having friends in certain fandoms or what else. I don't care if you put me in your fucking YouTube intro where I say, Duerst the Worst. Because the truth is, that doesn't offend me. It doesn't get under my skin. I'm not gonna let it get under my skin. I'm just gonna block people, okay? Because that's the glory of the internet. But I do encourage you to actually read. And when the alt-right trolls come over and God knows what else, I'll roast the shit out of them too. I'll educate them. Because guess what? Your entire fan base is made out of stupid idiot Nazi LARPers and flat earth conspiracy theorists. And that's not an insult. That is just a fact of life. Dummy, yeah.